Extra time.
Mishti Kotha, Bengal's newest taste of sweets.
When it comes to hard hitting, he could give a run for their money for any of the modern day batsmen. I am joined by former South African all-rounder and currently the batting consultant of the Proteas T20 squad, Lance Klusener. Welcome, Lance. First up, how challenging is it to work with the Proteas T20 squad?
Not really challenging. I think it's a wonderful environment, and players have been very open to try a few things, and it's nice to work with fellow countrymen for a while. I've been doing it with a lot of Indians as well, Bangladesh as well. So it's nice to work with my own people, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a great environment, and they've received me well.
And obviously, talking about, South Africa had great batsmen over the years, but in this squad, obviously, you have only the likes of Quinton de Kock. I'm talking of the star batsman and David Miller. So, how do you see the current crop of batsmen coming up?
Look, you've mentioned de Kock and Miller, but we've got some other good batsmen there that are busy finding their way, and it's a great opportunity for them. So, at the same time, it's a challenge for us to try and spread the experience, but there's some good batsmen, and in the next year or so you'll certainly know those names in your living rooms.
Rusty just mentioned in the press conference that with just little over 18 more matches to go when South Africa plays the T20 World Cup in Australia next year, so how do you see the crop of boys going ahead?
Yeah, good. I think it's a good competition for places, so that's good for us. I guess ideally we'd like to find the combination that we'd go to Australia with as soon as possible. We've got a couple of players that are available that are not here as well, so we need to take that into account. But the sooner we settle on a starting 15, I guess, the better. So I guess that'll be the goal in the next 8 or 9 games, try and settle on a team that can take us to Australia.
Obviously, talking about World Cup, everyone knows in worldwide, especially in India, that World Cup 1999. Do you remember that match? Obviously, one run.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the greatest one-day games, and that's been played. So that was good. I think really just what caught up with us in that whole World Cup was not scoring enough runs. We let ourselves down against Zimbabwe, let ourselves down against Australia in the game before. So we were running on empty, and eventually it just caught up with us at the wrong time.
Obviously, do you still remember Donald not running? Obviously the ball previous to that, he nearly was run out.
Yeah, look, it's easy to call Alan Donald's name, but at the same time, as I said earlier, we were always short of runs, and it wasn't a big target to chase. So wasn't really Alan's job to be batting in the middle with me. That responsibility, I guess, would have landed on the other 6 or 7 batsmen, ahead of him. So it's easy to call his name. It's not necessarily his job. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the game. That was unfortunately he had to turn back with the ball going back up the wicket, and I'd seen an opportunity for a single. So by the time he turned, it was a little bit too late. But I don't think we should be too harsh on Al. It wasn't really his job to be batting there.
Talking about 1999 World Cup, it established you as an all-rounder. You took 17 wickets in the tournament, scored 250 runs for the Proteas. You ended up being the man of the series. So it was really your World Cup, that 1999 World Cup. So talking about all-rounders in modern day cricket, who do you rate the top 3 all-rounders currently?
I think Stokes is on top of the tree. I think he's been amazing. He's been consistent. Pandya is there as well. Shakib, tremendous talent. So there's a good few that are knocking around. We've been a bit short on seam bowling all-rounders in the past. It's all been spinners, but we've got 2 in our team, in Pretorius and Petlakwa as well, who, given a little bit of time and given a little bit of opportunity in the middle, can work their way up that ladder as well. But if I had to choose one, I think Stokes is at the top of the tree right now.
Talking about Hardik, what has impressed you the most about Hardik? Having seen whatever have you seen of him?
I think his growth in the last year or so. He's experienced now. I think it's been great that they've stuck with him. Indian team and selectors have given him the opportunity to shine, given him the opportunity to bat around experienced batters, given him the opportunity to bat up the order as well. So that's great, and that's paying off right now, and it's probably a lesson that we should learn from that with our all-rounders.
And obviously, a word on Virat means he is the leading run scorer in T20 format now. What do you say about Virat? Means every international match is evolving as a cricketer.
Yeah, I think his hunger for runs, the value that he places on a single, being such a good cricketer, that value that he places on just rotating strike and just getting a one is something that's outstanding, and something that a lot less talented batters take for granted. So that's a huge lesson that certainly we can learn from that, is the value that he places. And obviously I love his passion as well, so this is a fantastic package.
Yeah, and lastly, obviously, do you still remember your debut in Calcutta in Eden Gardens? In first innings you did not do well, but you came in the second innings and took 8 wickets, and that almost silenced the packed Eden Gardens.
Yeah, just changed. I think the ball reversed a little bit. But again, you know, if you're well prepared for, you know, the competition, then you'll find a way to shine. You know, I mean, I thought I was reasonably well prepared. Had been working hard with Bob Woolmer in those days. Alan Donald had the privilege of doing that. So even though the first innings didn't go well, Mohammad Azharuddin, my good friend, was batting out of his shoes, and you know, I think when he does that, doesn't matter who's bowling at the other end, and he did that in the second innings as well. But I think the ball just reversed, bowled a little bit better, found a better rhythm, and that's cricket. Some days you can just get it all right.
And lastly, obviously, South Africa 1-0 down, do or die match coming up tomorrow in Chennai. So what's your take?
Well, nothing wrong with 1-1. I think we learned a lot. New management, new players, a lot of new things. So it was nice just to get a game out of the way and just see where we are. Another trick is, I guess, to learn from the last game, and to continue to learn and to continue to forge your way towards you know, T20 World Cup. So it needs to be learning every game, and we need to be better. We need to be sharper. I thought we were 15 or so runs short in the last game, and you know, if we can tackle that, then you know, we'll make a good game of it at least.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.